Now let's get to our trusted Cox Washington reporter, Dory Scheimer. Good morning to you, Dory. How are you?
Good morning.
So thanks for joining us. We all remember how President Donald Trump's last-minute endorsement swayed the Republican governor's primary here. Can any of these presidential endorsements have that big of an impact this time around for when it counts?
Yeah, in the general election, what's interesting about President Obama and President Trump coming to Georgia this weekend is what it tells us about who they're trying to get to the polls, and that's their base. They're not trying to get independent voters with President Trump or with President Obama. They're trying to energize Democrats from President Obama, Republicans from President Trump to actually make it to the polls and cast a ballot. So I think that that's interesting to see the strategy there in bringing in these big hitters from their own parties who they think will energize their base and increase the enthusiasm to get out to vote. So in that sense, yes, I think that both of those people will help both Kemp and Abrams, as our polling shows they're neck and neck. So they think, according to who they're bringing in, that they need to get out the vote, that this will come down to which candidate can bring in more people from their party to the polls.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend here in the metro area. Also, Dory, just in the past hour, new reports this morning say that President Donald Trump plans to sign an executive order to end birthright citizenship. So does the president have the authority to do this? This would be probably the most dramatic move yet from the administration on its hardline immigration stance.
Yeah, not too many people think that he has the authority to do this. He had an interview with Axios, which he told them that though it seems that you would need an act of Congress ratified by the states to amend the Constitution, he's now being told by White House counsel that he can actually do it with executive order. What we know for sure is that this would be ultimately immediately challenged in the courts, and President Trump would have a lengthy court battle to make that case. But he thinks that this will energize his base, that his supporters will like this. Those who oppose so-called anchor babies, chain migration, he thinks that this would be a step to fix it. Now, the practical and the political are two different things here. He'll have practical challenges, but he'll also have political challenges getting support from Republicans in Congress who, though they may not like this type of immigration, they're going to say, we actually have the power to amend the Constitution, not the executive branch and not the president. So we'll be watching to see how this plays out. But major news just a week before the election. I was not expecting to be debating the 14th Amendment 7 days out.
Yeah, quite the move before the midterms. All right. Dory, also, we know that you are from the Pittsburgh area. We've seen all of the memorials, vigils there, but tell us from your perspective as a Pittsburgh native who grew up there in the Jewish community, what have the past few days been like for you, your family, and friends?
Heartbreaking. It has been a really sad 4 days, going from the shock of seeing a breaking news alert that, Craig, we cover tragedies all the time. And most of the time they're not about you. They weren't my own personal tragedies. So to be in the midst of breaking news that was my community, was my family and friends in harm's way was really hard, was really sad. But I think in the days since Saturday, it's been amazing to watch how the communities come together, how people have stepped up to help, to be there to support the community, and ultimately find positives, find ways to make our community better from this tragedy. And I hope that we continue to see more of that, and that the unity in Pittsburgh in the past few days sets an example for everybody.
Yep, as the rabbi said, that this entire community, this nation will come back stronger after this. Dory, thank you so much for your expertise and also your perspective on what happened there in your hometown.